Okay, so this video is about the three archetypes made by Michael Chekhov. Now, the three archetypes, of course, are the head, heart, and groin archetypes. I'll start with the head one first and then get into the other two later on. Now, the head archetype is often used for characters that are leaders. That, are leaders or people of a higher standard, people of a higher class. So people who often hold their chin up and walk with purpose. With logic and knowledge. So whereas the heart would walk with emotion, the head walks with mostly logic and understanding to the situation and the understanding of what to do in order to make that situation work out best for everybody. So the head archetype often would stand quite to attention quite a lot of the time, back straight, head up, chin up, and would walk with purpose, walk with serious emotion, and without any real emotion actually, without any emotion added to it. It's more just the logic side of it. So, well, I'm going to get to the other bits in a minute. Now, so the head archetype can also be seen as quite snobby, but not as snobby, but snobby in a more higher class sense rather than a I'm a bad person sort of sense. So it would be quite, maybe look down on people, stuff like that. Hands not necessarily up anywhere around the heart or the groin area, but would be more just a bit more elegant with things, really. A bit more serious within the situation. Now, so that is the head archetype with the walking and serious demeanour about it. Now onto the heart archetype. The heart archetype is often led with quite a lot of emotion, led by feelings for certain people. So, for example, say a character that's in love or a character that just cares too much. If the character cares too much, then that could be their downfall, but also is quite shows that they are caring and they are a nice person. So the heart archetype is quite similar to the head one, but not as much in the sense of the head being up, but more the being led by the chest, being led by the heart. So whereas they would also walk with quite a bit of purpose and emotion to it, they walk. It is more like their chest is leading them rather than their head like this, rather than their chin being straight forward. It's their chest that's going forward. And that's like the basic understanding of what the walking is. Now, the heart archetype is used quite a lot, and for the caring characters, and also whenever they stand still, they would have their arms folded. They'd be up here, being like hands are up here, sort of thing, just around the heart to show that the focus is mostly on the heart rather than anywhere else on the body. Now, the groin archetype is the cockiest out of the lot, and not for a good reason. Now, the groin archetype is often used for people who are of a lower standard, a lower class of people who aren't respectful of things, who aren't respectful of authority figures or anything like that. They often would have their hands in their pockets in order to establish, or hands on their hips sort of thing, to establish that they are quite free-willed. They aren't very serious with a lot of things. They often, they lead with their groin in the sense that they're kind of leant back and relaxed with things. They don't really tend to, and they often walk quite slowly as well. Whereas the head would walk quite steadily. The heart might walk a bit faster, but still with seriousness and emotion. The groin often doesn't show emotion, even in a good way. They just kind of walk with this, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to be late for work, or I'm going to be late for the job interview, or whatever, they can wait for me, sort of stance about things. And obviously this isn't a very healthy sort of stance, but it's how a groin character goes. Now, groin characters are often not necessarily bad guys, but often the troublemaker. They're the problem to a lot of the main protagonist solutions if they aren't already the protagonist. But they're often the problem to a lot of the characters.